Thank you, sir.
Wish me luck also, bhai.
All the best. All the best, sir. Hello, everyone. A very good evening. My name is Ashika Bajaj, and I am currently a student of BSc Honors at lovely Professional University. So, I'll be the host for today's session for the topic and a talk with and a talk on Radix Nutritive startup with gluten-free food. So before starting, I would like to give you a small intro for Foodyaari. Foodyaari is an all-inclusive platform for all things related to food science and technology, and it gives you an enriching learning experience in the form of articles, quizzes, webinars, courses, and much more. You even get an chance to interact with lot many people experienced in this field. So before beginning, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for the today, Mr. Srinivas Jana. So I would like to welcome you, and we are eager to learn. We have with us the founders of Radix Nutritive, an award-winning gluten-free and millet brand. They manufacture a range of gluten-free, vegan, specialty foods and millet products. They are located at Sigana Kanhali, Yelhanka, Bangalore. The founder of the teams are Mridu Jana and Srinivas Jana. With 2023 being celebrated as the International Years of Millet, we have Srinivas Jana to talk about their journey. Sorry if I pronounced the places wrong, sir. That was a bit difficult. But yes, we are eager to learn. And if you allow, can we start up with the question and answers for today?
Namaste, Ishika. Gratitude to you and the entire Foodyaari team for having us in here today. Yeah, please go ahead. Let's get started.
Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, beginning with my first question, I would like to ask you can you please tell us about your background, like the family and the professional front?
Yeah, this is Srinivas Jana logging in from Radix Nutritive, Bangalore. Uh, Happily married to Mridu Jana for the last 23 years. Besides my life partner, she's also my business partner and the co-founder of our company. We are well supported by our next generation entrepreneur in Dattatreya Jana, who has turned major last year, and he's presently working on two initiatives. In one is Radix Nutritive, and one is 3D modeling. So myself and Mridu were classmates at school, brought up in Jhansi, that is Uttar Pradesh. Both of us completed our master's degree from IPS Academy Indore, somewhere around 97, 99 batch. And that's all about our family background, just a glimpse of it. On the professional front, before our startup, I had the opportunity to be closely associated with BFSI, that is banking, financial service industry, for quite a long time, more than a decade, let's say. Involved in proprietary trading in commodities, foreign exchange derivatives, migration of foreign exchange derivatives desk from Amsterdam to India, transforming the business operations of global banks, financial institutions, as a business process consultant, so to speak. My work took me places, and my family traveled with me most of the time. Uh, Around 2016 unfurled with the winds of change with the launch of our startup, Radix Nutritive, in the area of gluten-free foods and millet products. So that's a brief background about a family and the professional front.
So, like, it's really great. I think I'm hearing it for the first time. Someone has taken his complete family with him and started this startup.
Oh yeah,
It's yeah,
that's how it startup.
very good, very good.
You need to have all the hands on the ground, or rather all the hands on the deck. There's no other way.
It's really nice concept, sir. Like, I wish people watch this and they do take inspiration from you for this.
Yeah. Even we are inspired by many of the startups who have been operational for quite some time in our country.
Okay, so coming to my next question. So, how did you get your idea for the concept for this business?
Yeah, good one. So Sometimes the universe throws a curveball and makes you realize that often we are driven by circumstances. So it may be a way to communicate about futuristic events that may unfurl in due course of time. So, well, here is a snapshot of a real life story which led a BPM consultant, and that is myself, being a business process management consult, to undertake a voyage in a completely unknown territory. That's what it is. Yeah. So around 2011, while we were getting ready for travel to US for work, I got diagnosed with gluten allergy, and it later cascaded to a host of other complications in terms of health. So it came as a root shock, technically, to a family which has been predominantly a wheat eater for since our early childhood. Let it be rotis, parathas, bhaturas, so to speak. Now, at this juncture, my wife Mridujana explored several number of diet alternatives, and based on my body responses, she designed a survival kit with an expansive range of innovative food solutions. And gratitude to the universe that I have her, so to speak, and a number of gluten-free options were made available to me to run my daily course. Having said that, in recent times, there has been a marked increase of conditions like IBS, celiac, SIBO. SIBO is like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Um, Issues related to food intolerances, allergies globally, for example, gluten allergy or intolerance, lactose issues, nuts, yeast, and so on and so forth. Moreover, with depleting soil, air, and water quality, coupled with food adulteration and a usage of preservatives, it is actually causing a havoc in the human body to an extent that it is lowering or impacting our immunity. And with the extensive use of processed or refined foods, the dietary fiber, which is responsible to provide a roughage for the smooth evacuation of bowels, is at bare minimum levels. And this is leading to actually toxin buildup, unhealthy gut conditions, and bacterial imbalances. So to speak, constipation, so to speak, diarrhea, bloating, abdominal pain, they are all signals of an unhealthy gut. So, having witnessed the high tide and looking at the possible trends, entering the health and wellness sector was just a matter of time. So, in February 2017, upon our return from the States, we set the ball rolling by setting up an exclusive gluten free facility with millets, the forgotten grains, at its core under a flagship brand, Radix Nutritive. So that's essentially a switch from an IT to a completely unknown voyage in food processing.
Yes, sir. Like, ma'am has not just helped you, but like she has helped everyone out there suffering from this gluten allergy.
Oh yeah, I mean she's my I mean she's my God-given gift. Seriously, she's a savior.
Yes, I'm really happy to hear about her. I would like to definitely interact with her once because she's
That is
done
the
a
power of
companionship.
Nari Shakti, Ishika.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir.
To be
Really
very
hats
frank,
off to her for taking such a good initiative.
yeah.
So, sir, your company name is Igros Wellness LLP. So, what does Igros stand for, basically?
Nice. So with Radix Nutritive, our emphasis has been to launch health and wellness products wherein nature plays an important role. So we took to nature for our naming conventions too. And egros technically is a combination of two words, eagle and albatross. So an eagle has a natural ability to fly at dizzying heights with a razor sharp focus on its objective. Eagle also rejuvenates. It also symbolizes resilience and healing. The significance here is focus. The focus is human well-being. That is how eagle came into our parlance for naming convention. The next dimension was provided by albatross. The albatross, with its widest wingspan, symbolizes hope, navigation, guidance. It also acts as a rudder, to sailors in high seas. So the significance here is in providing a wide range of wellness products, enabling holistic wellness, and that's how basically eGross, so to speak, uh, came into our heads, and that's how we named our company as eGross Wellness LLP. LLP stands for Limited Liability Partnership.
So that's really a deep thought. Even than the feelings. This is really deep. This is really deep.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, talking about the next question. So, what are the various services provided by your company under the umbrella of brand Radix Nutritive?
See, our product categories span bakery, sweet shop, flours, ravas, instant mixes, and blends. We recently introduced ready-to-eat gluten-free rotis, paratas, waffles, Jaffa bites, and these are all driven by millets. And our concept over here is no wheat, no maida, and no refined sugar. And when we say about sweet shop and bakery, it's all driven by millets and jaggery. Uh, Further, we ship domestically with the help of dedicated courier partners, including India Post. We bake the cakes on order basis. So obviously, our freshly baked dry cakes are airlifted to various locations. It also goes to Chandigarh. It goes to Calcutta. It goes to Chennai as well. It goes to Pune, Mumbai. Thanks to our great customers who have been trusting us and madam, so to speak, for consistent products being delivered at every single time. Also, vacuum packaging is available on a customer request. Having said that, being an innovative food processing company, we encourage direct interaction with the customers by way of direct purchases, so to speak. The zeal of such interactions leads us to participate in various events at apartment complexes, corporate houses, trade fairs. Now, such an interaction is usually around the benefits of millets, product related information, recipe building, and the market trends. It also helps to build connections and trust with our target audience. At a company level, we have multiple channels to market and sell our products using social media, WhatsApp, referral companies, e-commerce websites, and third-party platforms, food blogging, and participating in various international events, so to speak. The whole idea is basically invoking the food consciousness amongst our society. Uh, so essentially, we started as a D2C startup, but now we are getting into B2B space. And one of the great, what do you say, uh, positive events or wins for today was we just got a call from one of the papad suppliers or papad manufacturers who wanted to buy almost 30 kgs of our millet products because tomorrow he is taking his papad, millet based papad, to Taj, Bangalore for G20 summit. So we are slowly getting into B2B space. That's what I said. Yeah.
That's great, sir. I really wish you luck and hope you reach heights of success.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so here's a question from my side. Basically, it was not included in the script, but I just wanted to ask that if someone has done like career is trying to make a career in food tech, but wants to convert into a startup or wants to make it wants to be a chef, so is that possible? Can a person do
Oh,
that?
oh yes, oh yes. We will talk further. Probably that is where we will be talking about startups, incorporation of the companies, and the various licenses which may be involved. We will talk almost, if I'm not wrong, in the last slide we will talk about all that.
Okay, so okay.
I have a couple of slides which I will also demonstrate. Uh, I can share my screen, right? Yeah, using the present button. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes. Yes, sir. So coming to the next question, can you please take us to the visibility and recognition of Radix Nutritive? Like a point you remember when Radix Nutritive was recognized. Hello, sir, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah. I think I lost the connection.
Yes,
My
yes, no problem.
apologies.
No problem, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, my next question was can we please talk about the visibility and recognition of Radix Nutritive?
Fantastic. You will love to hear that. Okay. Now, we are proud to convey that we are an Atta Chakki, right? With the Startup India recognition. Now, since childhood, we have been going to nearby villages, yeah, or nearby, nearby, what do you say, Atta Chakkis who have been into one of the gullies next to your house. But we never thought basically an Atta Chakki can have a startup recognition. So here we are. And we are proud to say that we are an Atta Chakki with a Startup India recognition. So going forward, as eGross Wellness, being the product makers of Radix Nutritive, an award-winning gluten-free and millets brand, we feature in top 10 business leaders from Bangalore Startups 2022. Thanks to CEO Insights, we have received global sustainability awards from the Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade. Thanks to GCPIT, our co-founder Mridu Jana has been conferred with the Great Companies Women Entrepreneurs Award 2023. We feature in the Millet Startup by Food Entrepreneurs Alliance Group in April 2023 edition. We also feature in 10 best gluten-free startups of 2023 by Silicon India. And a few of the companies are also in line, and let's see the way it goes forward.
Congratulations, sir. You actually deserve that.
Thank you. That's all, Mridu. She's the
Then,
innovator. I'm just a salesman. That's how I say.
then the credit really goes to ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, true,
So,
true.
sir, yeah,
I
talking
wish you
about the
would have been Bangalore. I wish you would
okay.
have been Bangalore, so that at least we could have made you tasted our muffins. But anyway, with the airlifting, we are more than happy to send our cakes to you as well.
Sure,
Sorry,
sir. I
go
will
ahead, please.
love to taste that. I would love to taste that. So, sir, talking about the next question. So, what makes your company and brand different from others? The USPs you would talk about.
Okay, gratitude to the to the universe for these fantastic recognitions, which are completely unparalleled. And the best part is they continue to pour in. But the whole question is why, right? Now, here are the whys, which essentially speaks about our unique selling proposition. See, we procure our unpolished native grains from organic farmers in one of the largest villages in Karnataka. The food is processed in our exclusive gluten-free facility, ensuring zero gluten contamination. The processing, packaging, labeling, all the activities are essentially done under one single roof. The small millets, so to speak, are roasted to provide better longevity to the grain without the spraying of chemicals and or any sorts of preservatives being involved, right? In terms of food, as I said earlier, our concept is no wheat, no maida, and no refined sugar, and each of our product is backed by story, and hence it is objective oriented. So at our end, at the core of innovation, all our food products or product categories are driven by a purpose, and that is why we said objective oriented. So let's talk about one of the roti flours which we have on our shelf. So while we were envisioning a healthy roti making, we included a millet as a nutri cereal. We included a legume for its high protein involvement and a dietary fiber content. And millets being gluten free, we also had to involve a binding agent to come up with one of the products called Radix Nutritive gluten-free flour messy plus roti flour. The users, our customers, are just supposed to just add water and salt and a bit of ajwain to make sumptuous and puffy Indian breads with a rolling pin. It is just so easy being gluten free. So that is one of the objectives for a roti flour. Now, second was considering the rise of diabetic population, we encouraged a multi-millet flour, which is high on dietary fiber, low in glycemic index, and is also recommended for cardiac health. And this is where we came up with a Trinity multi-millet flour. It can be added to dosas or idli batter to make roti doughs to enhance the nutritional quotient, and can also be prepared as a porridge and ganji, so to speak. Ganji is very common in Karnataka. The third, for white rice eaters, millet rice is a great alternative. A small millet, so to speak, cooks just like rice, and rice-based recipes like puliogare, paisam, bisibili bath, pulao. We roast the small millets to ensure better longevity without the usage of chemicals. So that is the best part. We are trying to ensure that that our millets reach each and every category of the human population. So next comes the Weight Watchers. So for the Weight Watchers and also a constipated population who are looking for healthy breakfast options, let's say, we introduced multi-millet rava. Now you can make spongy idlis with that. You can make upma, you can make halwa, and all other heights of fantastic kitchen creations. The fifth category goes to the sweet tooth audience. Why should they be left behind? So why should they be kept away, right? From mouth-watering, nutritious, and vegan laddus, which are made from millets and jaggery. The next is to pull the younger generation towards millets, right? We introduced guilt-free bakery, driven again by millets and jaggery. So our dry cakes, including vegan variants, muffins, cookies come in various flavors, and it provides a great gluten-free snacking options without compromising on the taste. Now, what we also say is cooking is fun, right? So, but for those who don't want to eat out, who want to eat out for a change, or people who want who want food on the go, people who want food on the go, we have come up with gluten-free rotis and parathas. And the best part is the journey still continues with the new yet to be launched gluten-free and vegan bread. So, and as I said, all the research and development of products and recipes are done in-house. That's completely us. And thanks to Mriduji for being a fantastic and a patient innovator. And as a domesticated husband, I'm just trying to be a salesman.
That's great. So I'm really waiting for more products to be announced. And I will definitely introduce this to my hostel mates because sometimes what happens is we are really, tired of eating all that food we get. This will be a great option.
That's great.
Definitely, this is a great option.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so sir, coming to the next question, I would like to ask about the struggles and challenges you faced, and how did you overcome
Wow.
them?
So the moment we talk about startup is basically mm, synonymous to struggle or a challenge, right? So during the initial course of a startup, there have been many unknowns as unexpected, and they still continue. They will still continue to grow, obviously. So to start with, sourcing of the raw materials, getting transparent stand of food pouches, food processing machine manufacturers, and one of the biggest devils for any startup, especially when you talk about food processing company or who is dealing in manufacturing, is minimum order quantity. So because every supplier will be looking for a good amount of MOQ, and we being startups with less of funding or less of capital, financial backing, you can't expect us to buy something like 1 lakh pieces of, something like stand-up pouches. So essentially, these were the major challenges. At yet another dimension, we tried our luck with a few incubators, research institutes. We were even ready uh, for an MOU with them to use their technology know-how while coming up with innovative food solutions. Now, with so many challenges, we had we had absolutely no way of keeping ourselves down. All we were involved was all we had was to just move along, right? So our resolution was to just hit the ground running with full throttle. And if it's all alone, let it be all alone. We are three, we can do it, right? So our vision was to build a food conscious society right from the word go, when we hit the ground running. And this particular vision took us to agricultural mandis, farmers, research institutes, agricultural universities, trade fairs, and food parks. And this conscious effort helped us to develop a comprehensive 360-degree view of a sustainable food chain, and helped us to identify millets as a clean winner. So we got many of the answers during one of the trade fairs, which happened to be in Bangalore around 2018, wherein we made great connections in terms of machine manufacturers, in terms of food pouches, in terms of farmers, and it was a really an eye-opening experience. And it was like, uh, 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 प्यासे को जैसे पानी मिल गया हो. It was one of those moments. So we earnestly then came the big one. One of the biggest challenge in our lives was COVID. That happened to everybody. It happened to us as well. So we were like, either you lock down or you hit the ball big. So what we did is we did a lot of research during lockdowns and came up with 100% gluten-free analytics with minimum available inputs. I mean, these were few of the challenges that we faced in our initial days. And the challenges will keep going. I mean, they will not leave you. The only thing is what can help you is your attitude, how you can overcome them. You just have to keep going, moving forward. Did I answer you?
Yes, sir, you actually did. And as we also know that food is the best cure, and you are setting up an example that yes, this is true. So like there were many cities you would set up the startup, but why only Bangalore? Why did you choose Bangalore?
Nice. Bangalore has been my karma bhumi. As I stayed close in Mumbai, especially in the IT sector for quite a long time, working for IT majors. So Bangalore has been my karma bhumi. And the best part, it is a startup capital of the country. The best part with Bangaloreites, people are very, very receptive. They are adaptive. They are adaptive to new ideas, and seriously, they are foodies. They love food, right? And Karnataka, as a state, has invested a lot of what do you say energies, has given a lot of impetus to farming, and it's pretty vocal about millets and the benefits of millets for quite a long time. It's not just this year, it being an international year of millets, but still has been very, very vocal about millets since almost 2015. Uh, and with the 2023 being designated as International Year of Millets by UN, I mean, it makes sense for our footprint to be here. Over to you.
Okay, that's great to hear. Like I've never visited Bangalore, but hearing about Bangalore has made me love it a lot. That like I would definitely, if I'll go for a job, I'll try for Bangalore. So, am I
it's a
audible to
fantastic place.
you?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yes, sir.
yeah. Go
Continue.
ahead.
Okay. So, sir, like about the specialty foods, what do you think? Like, are Indians aware about it? And if not, then what are your steps taken to make people aware about it? Or your strategy for making people aware?
Yeah, so that will come into a strategy vision, so to speak. So our vision is basically to build a food conscious society, as I said, right? And we have been envisioning to spread, I will say, food awareness by including millets to their diet as an alternative among all the age groups with a minimum of 6 months and above of age, and our products to be made available in organic stores, restaurants, star hotels, event gatherings like shadis, right? Shadiyon mein millets, it's a great example. And then package tours, wellness centers, airport lounges, and much beyond across major locations of a country. Like any entrepreneur, to be very frank, we would love to be an exporter in the next 2 years and a fantastic listed company in the next 5 years. That's a dream for every entrepreneur, especially a startup. Let's see how does it go from here. The bigger picture is we also envision to support, let's say, three villages directly or indirectly in terms of employment, in terms of providing growth opportunities. And during our entire journey, one of our key areas is basically to inspire young in spirit minds with our entrepreneur journey. This is where we are, and we look forward how basically we can give our best shot in meeting these mission and vision statements. So fingers crossed.
Sure, sir. And I know you do it with the help of ma'am. There's nothing impossible the way you're telling it.
uh,
You have
touch wood,
introduced her.
touch wood. We need each other's help. It's more of a social enterprise, so to speak, social startup, trying to define the elements where the food has been an important criteria in our overall chain of events in terms of survival, and how basically food is trying to uh, make us healthy, right? But essentially, we are not so conscious enough, because when we talk about processed foods, when we talk about canned foods, they come with their own uh, side effects, so to speak. But with
Yes, sir.
millets, they are at the core of your metabolism. They help in your immunity system, immunity building mechanism. They are very low in glycemic index, so great in terms of diabetic population. I mean, most of the half of the country's population is diabetic. Why? Because we sit around, the stress levels are high. We don't care about our tummy. We don't care about our bodies. So just 5 or 20%, 5 or 10% tweak to our bodily needs in terms of, let's say, only food, timely food, and the food that will give enough impetus in improving our journey as a human.
Sorry
Over
to
to you,
disturb
Ishika.
you, sir, but your voice is a bit lagging.
Yeah, I was saying, like, no, we are not having we are not so conscious about our food, with so much of unprocessed food, right, canned food. It is basically taking a toll on our human health. Number one. Number two, nutrition is nowhere in the picture. And number three, the best part is with millets. They are very healthy in nature. They provide the necessary dietary fiber. They come to you with a low glycemic index. Great boon for diabetic population. Great boon for improving immunity. Great buster, and a fantastic features of being gluten free. It really will help the population going forward. And the best part, it is weather resilient. It grows on hardly any water, wherein your rice or wheat needs for 20 liters grown in 1 liter water. And they are very robust in nature. To hell with the rodents, they can keep track of the weather changes. They're very robust in terms of weather patterns and all that. So it's a great boon for the human society going forward. Over to you,
Yes,
Ashika.
so like I finally got a reason why Bajra Sitta is here famous in Punjab.
Right.
I've actually got the reason today. So we're talking about Radix Nutritive. What can we expect to be as an add-on in the store in next 5 years?
Okay. As I said, we envision to be a listed company in the next 5 years, being an exporter in the next 2 years, spread millet awareness across all sections of the society, because millets can be consumed by even toddlers as long as they are 6 months plus, right? And they are great boon to the society. We envision to support three villages going forward, providing direct or indirect opportunities or employment. We are just envisioning. Let's see the way it goes. I'm sure with the universal blessings and the customer support which we have, and with the brand getting a lot of recognition and visibility, I'm sure all these things definitely will happen. Let's see. Fingers crossed.
Yes, sir. Fingers crossed. Everything will be good. So, any advice to the future generation or the ones who are planning to start a venture in this field?
Yes, yes. So, typically speaking, in today's world, there are n number of problems or possibilities. See, problem always comes with a possibility, right? So, there are n number of problems and then possibilities waiting for waiting a probable solution, especially in our manufacturing sector. Now, when we talk about a startup definition, so to speak, it includes identification of a problem. Number two, concreting the problem statement in itself, right? Uh, there has to be an idea to solve the problem, a solid idea. And the fourth is basically executing the idea on the ground. Essentially, most of our young minds are enthralled by the idea of a startup, and they limit their thoughts by funding and valuation aspects, right? But my advice over here is basically to identify the why factor, concrete the why. The how will follow anyway. If your why is concrete enough, that means you have an idea which you're trying to solve. I mean, the steps will anyway follow, right? So when it comes to how, we have to realize, we have to understand that funding appears on the how matrix. It appears on the how side, not on the why side, right? Funding shouldn't be a deterrent of your idea or taking it to the market. And also, we are too much concentrated with it, right? It startup, technology startup. But there are x number of huge immense opportunities in manufacturing, right? And that's exactly why I said, if we are an atta chakki with a startup India recognition. I mean, we are not boasting here. We are just trying to encourage the people, saying that the traditional atta chakki which used to be in one of our gullies or in the nearby villages can come of age and deliver products or services which does get startup recognition. So essentially, we are using it at our end as an enabler, right? To improvise our processes, to improvise or improve our services, or expand our approach to the end consumer. And essentially, that is one of our uh, suggestion to the new age youth who is looking for startup arena. to encourage to think IT only as an enabler. It's not a destination. And one more suggestion will be we are technically never ready enough to start with. Just begin wherever you are with whatever you have. I mean, it's always the first step which matters. And once you set the ball rolling, is the subsequent steps and the direction. So if your why is correct, always it will ensure that your next subsequent steps are in progressive path to destine or to meet your destiny, or change your destination or meet your destination. That's what I'll say. It's always the journey which matters rather than the destination.
Very true, sir. Like it just the ball just needs the right direction to move, and it
Right.
keeps going. Okay, so sir, my next question is why LLP and not private limited, and what do you think are the pros and cons of the type you selected?
Okay, from our perspective, what we thought is to start answering your question. I'll say the first step over here. The most important will be name of the company, the company type, and the objectives of the company are very crucial information which needs to be provided to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs for incorporation of a company. Number one. So when I say company type, it can be an LLP, it can be a private limited, it can be OPC. OPC means one person company, right? So essentially, a proprietorship is now OPC. Uh, a partnership is now an LLP. So the government has provided a platform wherein all these traditional companies have moved into the updated style of functioning, right? So for us, it was very clear that it is being a family-owned business to start with. Research, develop, launch new products, build customer base, and we are essentially a bootstrap company. So we were like, okay, let's launch all our products, get the customers' feedback, concrete a product line, ensure that we have enough customer base to be happy to say that, you know what, as a bootstrap company, we have done a great justice to ourselves. And whenever we are ready to launch ourselves into an expansion mode, which today I can say definitely yes, we are now into expansion mode, then you go ahead uh, for a bank loan, debt financing. So government of India has provided has come up with a launch of has come up with a lot of schemes which involves which involves non collateral based debt financing. That is what we are looking for. So besides this one, for a for people looking into private limited company, so why somebody like Ishika, if she is interested in a startup, if she is interested in equity financing, right from the word go, then you will have the way to go forward with a private limited company. So private limited company goes with equity financing, wherein you will have to dilute a particular percentage of stake in your company, give it to a investor. It can be an angel investor, it can be a venture capitalist, and so on and so forth. Usually such startups which are capital intensive, right from the word go, tend to get into the private limited label. So it may also involve foreign funds. No, not an issue, as long as there is a representation of a director of that company being an Indian, right? Now, best part with LLP for people like us, especially as an MSME or in the manufacturing sector, there is no concept of equity dilution. It's a bootstrap, it's a self-funded startup. LLP, so to speak, is ideal for consulting firms as well. Let's say companies which are dealing in taxation, which are undertaking legal firms, so to speak. Yeah. The best part is no one can come and buy you overnight. Yeah, because equity financing is not allowed. So typically speaking, it's a good bet. It may look like a bit of not such a risky proposition, but it's a nice bet. And if somebody wants to move from an LLP to a private limited, The government, especially MCA, which is Ministry of Corporate Affairs, does has a process of converting an LLP into a private limited company, as long as MCA provides the necessary approval. So yes, LLP has comes with its own pros and cons, and private limited comes with its own pros and cons. We need to be very careful what we want to go, where we want to go, or what sort of company we want to set, and accordingly we'll have to take the decision and go to the MCA with respective approvals.
Okay, sir. So, like, it's according to you a very wise decision one needs to make.
So before actually thinking about, I know, whether it is private or LLP or OPC, first thing basically where you're trying to venture, what may be the ask. Let's say I'm getting into some green solution, right? Green solution, and involves something like $500 million. If I feel, obviously Srinivas Jana cannot afford $500 million, right? So as an LLP, I can't. So I will actually go for a private limited company and ensuring that I have the leverage to include some foreign investors, or also HNIs, or angel investors, or VC, so to speak. I can let dilute some percentage of equity in return for their investing, and go forward in terms of equity financing, and fund my project and go forward from there. So हमारे पास क्या था कि पहले हम प्रोडक्ट बना लें. We were like, okay, किसी और के पैसे से प्रोडक्ट नहीं बनाना, right? So bootstrap हो, be a bootstrap, do on your own, make your customer base. When you're ready to launch into the next level of growth, then you go and knock the door of a bank, saying that I need a debt financing. Debt financing means I need a loan, preferably a non-collateral loan. Simple. So there are X number of schemes, thanks to Prime Minister sir, who has given a huge platform in terms of number of schemes, especially for women entrepreneurs, especially for rural empowerment, right? Especially like schemes like Mudra Yojana. I mean, they really are forming the background of taking our country's MSMEs to the next level in terms of growth and expansion.
Okay, sir. So, like, this is like a very wise decision one needs to make in which sector or which company he needs to go or she needs to go. Private limited one or LLP. Thank you for such a good justification on this. I hope everyone learns. And so coming to the next question, I would like to ask what license are required basically to start up with the food business. What I know is a facile license, and I want to know the rest.
Okay, at this time, I would like to share my screen. Just bear with me. Let me see if you can see my PPT. You are free to take a snapshot as well.
Yes, sir.
Just bear with me. Mm, window, entire screen. You can see my screen, Ishika? Y- You're able to see my screen?
No, sir, the screen is not visible.
Uh-oh. Really? Stop sharing. Bear with me just 1 second. Slides. Okay, you have no slides. Okay. Computer file. Share my screen. Share my screen. So entire screen. Okay. Share it. Let me know if you can see it. Or else I'll be more than happy to read it out.
No, no, sir. The screen is not
Okay.
visible.
So the best part, let me share this post our meeting. but for the benefit of our users, let me read out, right? So before you start, the first step basically will be company registration by Ministry of Corporate Affairs, right? Once basically you get the MCA approvals with the company type, the name of the company uh, which they have approved, yeah, you will have to apply for a business PAN and a TAN with income tax department. Once you get both of them, then you will have to go into the food registration process, which is FSSAI. Now, based on the turnover, government has provided us food registration, state license, and central license. Now, all these three categories are typically driven by turnovers. If your turnover is, let's say, 12 lakhs and below, you can go for food registration, which is more at the state level. Going forward, about 12 lakhs to, if I'm not wrong, 2 crores. I may be wrong here, but I just remember the top of my head. Uh, that's a state license, and beyond that amount, it goes into the central license, right? The next part is GST, goods and services tax. You will have to apply. Now, for people like us who are manufacturers and with the turnovers, we say that we are MSME. We are part of MSME segment. So there's something called Udyam registration which is required. The best part with startups, starting 2017, Prime Minister sir started the Startup India initiative. So we have the Startup India website too. Uh, Probably one of the best things after GST and Startup India is coming up with a very big initiative called India's National Single Window System for Business Approvals. So I don't care what sort of business you are putting, trying to launch in the country, whether you are at the municipal level, whether you are at the state level, whether you are at the mandal level, or whether you are level the country level. I don't care. So the government has provided one single window wherein you can apply for the respective approvals. You need not go anywhere. Just with the stroke of a button, you can access the website sitting at your office, sitting at your home, and search for the requisite approvals which you are looking for, respective registrations that you are looking for, and you can apply online. Uh, for women and probably a bit of SC/ST communities, Stand Up India has come up with the Stand Mitra initiative. For idea prototyping and product, government has come up with the Nidhi Prayas. The next big thing in e-commerce is ONDC, Open Network for Digital Commerce. And so when we talk about startups, there is something called IPs or trademarks. You can apply these IPs or trademarks with one of the uh, consultants who are experts in providing you the consulting services. They can take your application to the respective registry, trademark registry, and have it registered. So broadly classified, we try to enlist probably 7 to 10 places where uh, business has to go and search or enroll themselves or register themselves. The best part with Digital India is you need not go for most of the registrations or approvals. You need not go after anybody. Just sitting at home or office, just go ahead, apply. You just need your mobile number. You just need an email ID. You're up and running.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So now I would like to conclude. So that was indeed a power packed and interesting session now. So, and I'm also sure everyone has learned a lot about gluten free food. So, on the behalf of Team Foodyaari, I would like to thank Mr. Srinivas Jana, who has taken time from his busy schedule and enlightened us with the knowledge of gluten free products. It was an excellent session, and I'm sure everyone has got to know a lot about the gluten food and will definitely look forward eating it. And so, I wish you loads and loads of success. And I hope I see Radix Nutritive as a world renowned brand soon. So, thank you so much, sir. And I would like to thank our audience for being so patient and listening to the session so nicely. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ishika, and thank you, Foodyaari, for giving a patient listening. and I had a great fun sitting for 1 hour relating our side of the story, our journey. It was great. It was great being part of the overall program here. Thank you for the opportunity. Have a nice evening. Take care.
Thank you so much.